is Shapatur Asakrit Vishnum.
Shapatur Asakrit Vishnum.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Shito na jato jivaya.
Shito na jato jivaya.
Nandam vivishatustamaha.
Nandam Vishvishvatustamaha.
Shapatur Asakrit Vishnum.
Shapato Sakrit Vishnum.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Shitrana Jata Jivaya.
Shito na jato jivaya.
Nandam vivishatustamaha.
Nandam Vishvishvatustamaha.
Shapato Rasakrit Vishnum.
Shapato Sakrit Vishnum.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Shitrana Jata Jivaya.
Drona Jato Jivayam.
Nandam vivishatustamaha.
Nandam Vivishasustamaha. Shapato Asakrit Vishnum.
Shapato Asakrit Vishnu.
Yas Brahma Paramavyayam.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Vitrona Jato Jivayam.
Shitrana Jata Jivayam.
Nandam Vivishasustamaha.
Nandam vivishatustamaha.
Shapator Asakrit Vishnu.
Shapatur Asakrit Vishnu.
Brahma Paramavyayam.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Jato Jivayam.
Shitrana Jata Jivayam.
Vivisatustamaha.
Nandam vivishatustamaha.
Vishnu
Shapatur Asakrit Vishnu.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Yad Brahma Paramavyayam.
Jato Jivaya.
Shitrana Jata Jivaya.
Nandam Vishvishastamaha.
Nandam vivishatustamaha. Shapato
Shapato
of both Shishupal and Dantavakra,
Abo Shishpal and Dantavakra.
Asakta, who were blaspheming.
Who are blaspheming.
Asakrit
Asakrit.
repeatedly. Vishnu,
Vishnu.
Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Yet,
Yet.
which
Which.
Brahma Param,
Brahma Param.
the Supreme Brahman,
Brahman.
Avyayam,
Avyayam.
without diminution.
Without diminution.
Shitra, white leprosy.
White leprosy.
Na,
No.
not.
Not.
Jata, appeared. Jivaya,
Jivaya.
on the tongue.
On the tongue.
Na, not. Andham, dark. Vivishatu, they did enter. Tamaha, hell. Translation. Although these two men, Shishupal and Dantavakra, repeatedly blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Krishna, the Supreme Brahman, they were quite healthy. Indeed, their tongues were not attacked by white leprosy, nor did they enter the darkest region of hellish life. We are certainly most surprised by this. Repeat after me. Although these two men, Shishupal and Dantavakra, repeatedly blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, Krishna, the Supreme Brahman, they were quite healthy. Indeed, their tongues were not attacked by white leprosy, nor did they enter the darkest region of hellish light. We are certainly most surprised by this. Prabhupada's purport. Krishna is described by Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita 10:12 as follows: Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. You are the Supreme Brahman, the supreme abode and purifier. Herein this is confirmed. Vishnum yad Brahma param avyayam. The supreme Vishnu is Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Vishnu, not vice versa. Similarly, Brahman is not the cause of Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Brahman. Therefore, Krishna is the Para Brahman. Yad Brahma param avyayam. Om Gananandasya Ganantara Salakaya Chakshur Malitanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovrishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Dutta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagadatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishnuvanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakapa Gurupishya Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's a good example of how much fallen soul, jiva soul, doesn't want to serve Krishna. King Prabhupada has repeatedly told us we come to the material world out of a desire to not serve Krishna. It was a post on Facebook yesterday from it's a Prabhupada's, one of the Prabhupada sites, and it was a video. I don't remember where the class was, but Prabhupada was there was questions after class, and one girl asked, one young lady asked the question, if Krishna doesn't want us to be separated from him, and why does he let us come to the material world? Who knows what Prabhupada said? He said,
You forced him?
He said, you forced him to let you come. And
it was like a pause and he said, you forced him. Something like that.
Yeah, he said it real
Strong.
definitely. You forced him to let you come here. And he said, just like a child, I haven't had children in this life, but I was a child in this life. And I remember how ridiculous I was when I was a little kid or an older kid. And so Prabhupada said the child wants to do something, his father says, no, it won't be good for you, it'll hurt you, it'll cause you trouble. But the son or the daughter insists on it. And finally the father said, okay, you do what you want to do. You'll have to, there will be reactions for it. And I often think, as I said, I haven't had kids in this life. I had a stepson. I didn't have much authority over him, but hardly any. But Sometimes I think now, I don't know if it would be possible because I haven't had kids, but I think if I had kids, I would tell them like have sessions with them from a early age and kind of try to get them used to listening to me if they would sit still and say, you can, if you want to do this, you can do it, but the results of doing this are going to be this, and this, and it's going to be bad. This if you want to do it, you can do it. But I know what's going to happen if you do this. I know what's going to happen if you drink alcohol or take drugs or have illicit sex. I know what's going to happen if you eat meat. I know what's going to happen if you get in with a bad crowd of kids. I know what's going to happen if you drive too fast, recklessly in your car. I know what's going to happen because I've been through it all. I've seen it over and over as all these things have happened to me. If you want to do it, you can do it if you insist. But these are the results that are going to happen, and it's going to be painful. But I can't stop you from doing what you want to do if you think you want to do it, but you're going to suffer as a result. It's just a fact of life. It's what's going to happen. And anyway, so that's the material energy. We come here. I don't know if we know exactly what's going to happen when we're in the spiritual world. I don't know if we know in the spiritual world how bad it is to be a conditioned soul. I don't know, but we certainly find out when we get here, and we do. But by the influence of, especially in Kali Yuga, but especially any time as a fallen soul, we do the same things over and over again. The basic thing is we don't want to serve Krishna, whether we're in the mode of goodness or whether we're a meditator or a yogi or just a regular sinful guy on the streets. We do the same sinful actions over and over. There's a saying that's popular now in America, I don't know other place, but the saying is, from somebody, the insanity is definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking that you're going to get a different result next time. But every conditioned soul is doing that. Like you overeat, you're attracted to some food, you overeat, your stomach hurts, you may get sick, but then after you get well, and next time you think, oh, I really like that, and you overeat again, you get sick again, or people drink alcohol and take drugs and have illicit sex, and the same bad reactions come every time without fail. But still we do the same. Conditioned soul is determined to get some sense. And Maya is partly to blame. Mostly we're to blame because we're the ones who want to be independent, enjoy separately from Krishna, not be told what to do. But Maya is partially to blame because she's the one who said, "Oh no, you can do it again. It'll be better this time. Maybe things will work out good this time." And and she's very persuasive. The illusory power of Maya Devi is very strong, and she's very convincing. And we're very stupid. The conditioned soul is very stupid, very conditioned, very determined. And we think, okay, I know I suffered last time, the last 10 times, the last 100 times doing this, but I'll do it again. Maybe it'll be better this time. Yeah.
This is the insanity in general saying.
What?
In general, this is saying like that. Insanity means this.
Yeah, I mean, insanity involves a lot more than that, but I mean, basically every conditioned soul is insane. But yeah, that's a saying now that's popular in the United States. I don't know about other places. That insanity means you do the same thing over and over again, and you think this time it'll be different. It won't be different, especially when it comes to sinful life. Anyway, but conditioned soul, we're very determined to try to enjoy sense gratification, and Maya is very persuasive and very powerful illusion. So we do the same crazy things, but yeah, so this is so Prabhupada said, he told that lady, he told everyone in the class, said, you forced Krishna to let you come here. It's not, it wasn't, it's not an accident. It's not that Krishna wanted us to come here, but Krishna doesn't interfere with our minute independence, and he lets us do what we want to do. Within our minute independence, we can either choose to serve Krishna or choose to try to be independent from Krishna. We're always a servant. Everyone is always a servant. If we choose to not serve Krishna, then we will serve Maya. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We will serve Maya. So we force, and then there's another short video with Prabhupada, and I think it's in Australia, and pretty much everyone knows this one. And somebody asked, how long does it take to become fully Krishna conscious? Or I forget the exact question, but that was the thrust of it. Or become, and Prabhupada said it takes 1 minute. So it's taken a little more than 1 minute for me. And generally it takes more than a minute, because we're a little bit stubborn, a little bit not surrendered. We're trying really hard, and we're doing well. We're making progress every day. But yes, the main thing is the choice, when we have the time when we have a choice and we choose Krishna. I remember the first time I read Bhagavad Gita, I was already attracted to the devotees and attracted to Krishna consciousness. But when I read Bhagavad Gita as it is the first time, when I read it all day, as a college student, and after I knew while reading it, after reading it, that okay, this is the absolute truth. This is what I have to do. I have to be I have to be a devotee. I have to be one of these Krishna conscious people. And yeah, so there's a moment, or there's a time when we actually choose to surrender to Krishna. I know Krishna wants me to surrender to him, and I know this is what I have to do. May not be able to do it very well right away, or right away, but that's a crucial point in our life. And yeah, so, and we're all faced with those decisions. So, and Krishna is always there. He notes the occasion. He notes our decision. He sees our decision, and he's very pleased with that. And he's already been helping us all the time. He helps everyone all the time. But when we decide to surrender to him, then it certainly helps us every step of the way. Anyway, it's a conscious choice, surrendering to Krishna, and it's not just one time. The initial surrendering to Krishna is the most significant point. We've been conditioned soul for millions of births and deaths trying to not surrender to Krishna. And so when we finally decide to surrender to Krishna, that's the most important thing we've done in millions of births. And then from then on, it's a moment by moment surrendering to Krishna. It's not just one time that we surrender, but we repeatedly surrender moment after moment, year after year, lifetime after lifetime. If we take more births, the residents of Vrindavan, the Goloka Vrindavan, the gopis, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, they're always constantly surrendering, constantly and consciously surrendering to Krishna. All the pure devotees is not like, oh, now I'm a pure devotee, I don't have to. So every devotee is constantly surrendering to Krishna very deliberately. Of course, at that stage, it's the most natural thing, complete love and devotion, and it's not a challenge. You're not being offered alternatives by the external energy. Why don't you do this instead of surrendering to Krishna? But you don't need a challenge to consciously surrender. Mother taking care of her children, mother taking care of their children. They're consciously surrendering to that process of care, attention, and devotion at every moment, every second. Anyway, so in the purport, Prabhupada, so Shishupal is like so envious that he, even from birth, even before he could talk, he was blaspheming Krishna. So that's about as bad as it gets. But we don't want to be like that. But they didn't get leprosy, they didn't, and they were surprised that although these two men, Shishupal and Dantravaka, repeatedly blasphemed the Supreme Personality of Krishna, of Godhead Krishna, they didn't get really sick. They didn't go to hell. We're certainly most surprised by this. So, but in the purport, Prabhupada talks about Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as he always does and always did. And so in Krishna consciousness, I was thinking about this recently, we're in a sort of unusual position because we're always encouraged, and our whole basis of our Krishna conscious philosophy is centered around Krishna in Vrindavan. Krishna and the gopis, Mother Yashoda and Krishna, the cowherd boys taking care of the cows. So everything that we do is always centered around Krishna and Vrindavan. But at the same time, as Prabhupada said, like we don't worship Radha Krishna deities on the altar as Radha Krishna. We worship them as Lakshmi Narayan in the mood of awe and reverence. But he was never like, no, you should never think of the deities as Radharani and Krishna, should only think of them as Lakshmi Narayan, this supreme. It wasn't like that, but he was making he definitely said it, but mostly when we see the deities on the altar, we think of them as worship them as Radharani and Krishna in Vrindavan. So we're in a sort of unusual, a little bit unusual position as seeing everything we do centered around Krishna and Vrindavan, but at the same time we're advised, encouraged, and Prabhupada speaks about it over and over and over again in all his purports that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So and he wanted us, we have to be emphasized it constantly, that we have to understand and know and worship Krishna as God. And we're not on the platform yet, generally, most of us, of just pure love of Krishna. So there are many great devotees in ISKCON who I'm sure are, but in general, the neophyte devotees were not on that platform. So we're advised to be very knowledgeable about the Bhagavad Gita as it is, and all the verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam starts out with Janma Jasya Jataha. Say the whole thing.
अन्यवदितरतश्चाद्देशो विज्ञस्वरा तेने ब्रह्महृदाय कवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूर्यः तेजोवारि मृगावता विनिमय तत्र रामनाशनदायनस्तुभं सत्यं परं धीमहि.
Yes, I mean, the whole Bhagavatam up till the 10th canto is, I mean, there's all other purports, pastimes too, including Lord Ram in the 9th canto, and Lord Nishingadev and Varaha and Lord Kapila. There's many other incarnations, and the point is made repeatedly over and over and over again. These incarnations of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. We have to do both as aspiring devotees. We know that Krishna is Krishna in Vrindavan, but we also know and have to be very much aware that Krishna is God, and there's a sense of both awe and reverence, and also worship of Krishna without awe and reverence. So it's kind of, in a way, it's sort of a mixed position, and but in the Chaitanya Charya. But we know that ultimately we want to go back to Goloka Vrindavan, and there won't be any like the gopis. They were looking for Krishna, and Krishna appeared before them as Lord Narayan, and they knew, oh, Lord Narayan, he's God. So we should bow down to God. We should offer obeisances, but we're not really interested in God, Lord Narayan. So they said, oh, Lord Narayan, where's Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? Which is kind of funny. They know he's God, and most people, when you see God, pretty important thing. You see him running into God in the middle of the forest at night, but the gopis didn't care. Have you seen Krishna? And not caring or knowing that Krishna is the source of Lord Narayan. So anyway, but we're in sort of a mixed position a little bit at the present time, and we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be. Both things are always emphasized in all of Prabhupada's books, in all of his teachings. It's never one or the other. It's never just on reverence, and it's ultimately it is just pure devotion to Krishna. But it's in Prabhupada's instructions, it's mixed. So, and we have to know. We should know. We should know the detail, some of the details, as far as our tiny, insignificant little brains can understand. We have to understand some of what it means to be God. It's like we say the word God, everyone says God, God, God. But how, when Prabhupada, God is great, but we should have some idea of the greatness of God, his infinite intelligence, his infinite power. It's like the sun in the sky. The sun in the sky is just the tiniest little spark of Krishna's splendor. But from our point of view, the sun is a gigantic, unfathomably gigantic ball of fire that's burning for billions of years and making it possible for all life, everything on this planet and all the other planets. So, and the sun is like inconceivably big and wonderful and powerful. And that's just the tiniest little spark of Krishna's power. So we're supposed to try to think about and try to understand a little bit of the infinite nature of Krishna's power, fame, glory, beauty, knowledge, to know everything. God is omniscient. What does that mean, to know everything? It's like, there's no way of our completely understanding what that means, but we should try to think about things like that sometimes. What does it mean to be God? That Krishna is God. So it's inconceivably great. And and Prabhupada makes the point in the purport also that the Supreme Vishnu is Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Vishnu, not vice versa. Similarly, Brahman is not the cause of Krishna. Krishna is the cause of Brahman. Therefore, Krishna is Para Brahman. Yad Brahma Param Avyayam. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. I'm the basis of the impersonal Brahman. In that verse, in the Isopanishad, the devotee prays to Krishna. He said, please take away your glowing effulgence so I can see your face. And that means everybody wants to see the bright light. Everybody wants to merge into the light, become one with everything. But the devotee wants Krishna to take away the bright light so they can see Krishna's face, his smiling face, which is infinitely beautiful. And I told that, I gave some people that dream that I wrote out, that Mother Taruni in Gitanagari she had of Krishna, and I have it printed out on papers if anybody wants it. And in her dream, and she's a very old devotee, started coming in 1966 in 26 Second Avenue with her husband, and shut that door. So, in her dream, and I have no doubt that Mother Taruni saw Krishna directly in her dream. In her dream, she's had a difficult life in many ways. The children have gone through a lot of stuff, and it hasn't been easy for her in her life in Krishna consciousness. But she's very, very humble, faithful, sweet, pure, great devotee. So she was going through a difficult time in her life, and in her dream, she was in the midst of a deep, darkness, a very difficult time. But then in her dream, Krishna came and she saw Krishna's smiling face, and she get to give some idea as well as she could about how beautiful Krishna's smiling face was. And Krishna spoke to her in her dream. He spoke with his eyes, as Krishna can do anything with any part of his body. Prabhupada said that's the meaning of omnipotent. And so he spoke to her with his eyes, and he said, "My beauty is sufficient to conquer any kind of illusion or darkness." And she could see that, like everyone here, everyone goes through difficult times in their life, and it seems like, oh, it's so difficult. I'm in so much anxiety, there's so much stress, and this relationship is causing me so much pain, and it seems like overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming. But as soon as she saw Krishna's face, the darkness, the illusion lifted like a fog is lifted as soon as the sun comes up. And she could see that, oh, this illusion that I've been seeing, it wasn't real. It was just illusion. It was causing me so much difficulty, but it's illusion. And she had the feeling that I could have put my hand through it at any moment, because it's nothing. So all our pain and all our suffering in this material world for millions of lifetimes, they are illusion. But while going through the illusion, it seems it is very difficult for us, but it is illusion. And when we become very Krishna conscious, when we are Krishna conscious, already just surrendering to Krishna, so much of our trouble from being conditioned souls has evaporated. Our lives are so easy, psychologically, mentally, compared to what we were as rebellious conditioned souls. If we compare it to what everyone else in the material world is going through, already our lives have become so much simpler and easy and wonderful. Just because we've already gotten Krishna's mercy to a great extent, and it will increase. Okay, I forgot the point. Yeah, Krishna is the cause of Lord Vishnu, not vice versa. In some places, when somebody would argue with Prabhupada, or Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu, sometimes Prabhupada would say, well, it doesn't matter that much. Krishna is the cause of Vishnu, or Vishnu is the cause of Krishna. Sometimes he would say it's not a very significant point. But almost always, like 99.9% of the time, he emphasized the absolute truth from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna is the source of all the other incarnations, as explained in the second chapter of the first canto.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam.
Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All the other incarnations of God are emanating from Krishna, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So I'll stop there. Any questions or comments?
I was having this reflection, we were shaped in the mood of Lakshmi Narayana, but at the same time, carefully we had to also develop that spontaneous love.
Yeah.
So that is because the tendency to become sahajiya, taking cheap, This
Yeah.
Bhaktivedanta Thakur and Prabhupada both were very much cautious about making all their followers being cautious about this aspect. Otherwise, tendency is to take things very cheaply. No, that's not happening. And secondly, I was thinking about this beauty you said, no, that the beauty of the Lord, it conquers all illusion. So I was thinking about this Sango Pangastha Parshadam. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that his astra is his beauty, his weapon.
Yeah.
His weapon is his beauty. So just by having the darshan of the Lord, the beautiful form of the Lord Chaitanya also, that is his weapon, that everyone can conquer the illusion.
Yeah.
We know we are supposed to surrender more and more.
Yeah.
And we keep hearing about this, but still we don't surrender fully.
We are surrendering.
So how to increase our surrender the way disciples like you are doing to Prabhupada, how the next generation can do it?
It doesn't matter what generation, we're all in the same position. All the devotees are good. All the devotees are trying their best to surrender. And all the devotees are making progress at every moment, surrendering and becoming purified moment by moment. We're doing it. We just have to keep doing what we're doing. That's all. Just stay steady. The most important thing in Krishna consciousness is just be faithful. Just in any relationship, the most important thing is just be there. Be there. Be steady. Be faithful. Husband and wife, mother, parents and children, friend and friend. Even in work, the most important thing is the parent, not so much these days, they'll fire you at the drop of a hat. But generally, a boss will appreciate someone. It might not be the best worker, maybe, but is always there, is always trying his hardest, is always faithful, is a faithful servant and employee. In any relationship, the most important thing, just be there and just be faithful. And that's what we're doing. That's what we just stay and we're faithful. You're doing it. Just keep doing it. Yeah, we better stop. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
So on this role, we can guess that serious that time. That is the sense of conflict the rooms of the relationship the more and more think kind of will happen. Probably this was continue and be that's what people see. That will eventually be done. Yeah. So it's the blessing. Yeah. Just